All right, cool. All right, man. So today we're gonna talk about how to make 20K from SMS marketing, wholesaling real estate, right? So I've been doing this since 2019 as far as sending SMS out, right? So I got a lot of experience in it. And back then it was a little different than it is now. There's a lot of little things you gotta do to actually make it work, right? So you want to make 20,000 in 30 days, 20,000 every single month, right? You want to get at least a deal or two between 5 to 15,000 per deal, right? So essentially, if it's 5,000, you need 3 deals, or it could be 3 deals with 7,000 a piece, or whatever. It could be one deal with 20,000. It could be 2 deals with 10,000 a piece, right? But it's like, I remember times I get deals like one deal for 18,000 and another deal for 2,500. You know what I'm saying? One deal for 15,000, another deal for 7,500. So roughly, I say between, you'll end up making 15 to 30,000, but it all averages out around 20,000. So pay attention. All right, so you're gonna need to you're gonna hit these lists with PropStream, Batch Leads, and DealMachine, right? So you're gonna have to pull some good data. You're gonna actually pull the most motivated, right? So I like to go with stack data, right? So you got county data, that's some of the best data. But then, you got data that you get from DealMachine, Batch Leads, and PropStream, which is also good. So when you go to PropStream, Batch Leads in these different places, you're gonna pull the tax delinquent, pre-foreclosures, bankruptcy, absentee, out of state, vacant, right? Some of my favorite lists. And you actually want to use a stack data. So when I say stack data, I mean that go after the stack data first. So that means that, let's say you got 100,000 records and you want to go after people that's on 3 or more lists. So I'm gonna go after the people that's on the tax delinquent, the pre-foreclosure, and the vacant. These people have a more, reason that they actually want to sell, right? So you're gonna build the list with these platforms, right? I started off on PropStream, then Batch Leads got some good data, and then I love DealMachine. DealMachine got probably like the best vacant data, maybe, from my experience, but Batch Leads and PropStream is also good. Very, 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 very important. You need a phone validator to actually make the SMS work. You understand me? You need the phone validators, man. You understand? So these are some phone validation sources that you can use. Phone validator, data validation, right? Bright Verify. Because see, the carriers will block your phone number if you show up as spam. So let's say you're messaging thousands of texts a day, right? And with the thousands of texts, you're messaging dead numbers, you're messaging landlines. Now you're marked as spam, now you're blocked, and now you can't send SMS, and now you can't make them 20 racks that you're trying to make. We don't want to do that, right? So that's why you need the right phone validator, right? All right. So you need around 3,000 texts a day, and you're going to need to pull 70,000 records from these platforms, right? Now, Batch Leads is like $350 a month, and DealMachine is $279 a month. DealMachine gets you 60,000, Batch Leads get you 70,000. Now, if you want to just go with DealMachine, you should do that because the 60,000 should still be enough records for 3,000 texts a day, right? You know what I mean? I like to mix the two because some data I can get from Batch that I can't get from DealMachine, or I can't get from PropStream, and vice versa. So I pull data from everywhere and just put it all in one list stacking software, where we'll get into later, right? Maybe another day. So we're using Go High Level to send out the SMS, right? I started off on different platforms back in the day when it was much more sweeter. These platforms are much more expensive now, and they actually do not work as good as Go High Level from my experience, right? So, with Go High Level, they're talking about automated follow-ups, You can use the AI to respond on your behalf, so you don't have to sit there and type all day. And it's a all-in-one CRM. So, you know what I mean? And we built our own Go High Level white label. So if you're interested in that, reach out to me. So we're definitely going to use Go High Level, much cheaper. And then another thing too with SMS, regardless of what platform you're using, you definitely want to stay away from using words like cash offer, property, interested. These words will get you blocked. You know what I mean? That's just something the carriers start doing probably. I'd probably say like 21, 22, around that time. Because everybody was going crazy. It wasn't just like wholesalers. It was like the presidents. Anybody you could think of was utilizing SMS, right? Because why wouldn't they? It's a great marketing tool, right? I don't blame them. We was using it too. But that's why, they blocked these words, you know what I mean? Specifically because it was so many investors using these words. So don't use them. Also, you want to personalize the message, with the first name. So, you can actually seem like you know who you're trying to reach out to, right? And that helps out a lot too. This is one of the most important things right here too, though, that it gets you blocked. This shit'll get your ad blocked, right? So don't use stop as opt-out language. So when you go into any SMS platform, they already have this for you. You want to take this off and put no or put remove. These words right here will not trigger the carriers to block you. You understand? So that's very important. Very, very, very important, right? This and the validator, one of the most important things when it comes to, SMS marketing, right? So no, remove. What's another one? Delete. I like no because it's just 2 letters and they could just type it. You know what I mean? Whatever. All right. So another key factor is responding very, very, very fast. You understand? See, I treat my SMS leads like PPC leads. The PPC rule is like 60 seconds, 30 seconds, right? I treat the SMS leads the same because at the end of the day, you reach out to enough people, there's low hanging fruit in there and they're just as motivated as a PPC lead. You understand? So I treat everything like a hot lead. Well, not necessarily, but until I know that it's not hot, then I would, act different. But when that lead come in, we own it. You know what I mean? So that's why the AI helps to never have slow response time, but it's also up to you to get on the phone and try to call them. But some sellers actually do like to conduct the entire transaction with SMS, like just straight text. So it's all really depends on their personality. You get what I'm saying? So, the faster you respond, the faster you to the closing table, man. You know what I mean? If you respond within 5 minutes, I put 5 minutes, but really I say 60 seconds, honestly. But 5 minutes, that's decent. Like I said, leveraging AI, right? This is AI is I'm telling you, you're gonna need that, especially when you start trying to get to 7,000 texts a day, 10,000 texts, even 3,000 texts. I mean, we'll get 35 leads sometime in one day, right? And then also the automated follow-up. So when you send the SMS, you know what I'm saying? You hit them with another follow-up message after 2 days and then another one after 4 days, right? Or you can get real aggressive and just for like 10 days, you just pound them, email them, texting, voicemailing, you know what I'm saying? And inside Go High Level, we have that set up. If you're interested, let me know, book a call with me. And, one of the main things with any business, right, is tracking your KPIs, right? So I know that you need to know your cost per lead. You need to know your leads to contract, right? Typically on SMS is 50 to 100 leads to a contract. I've even gotten as low as 25. But that's just all depends on, the list, the follow up, whatever, you know what I mean? So these are some of the most important key metrics. Is cost per lead, leads to contract, what is your response rates, all of that kind of stuff, right? You know what I mean? So this also very important too, is like using different messages, because like almost every 2-3 weeks we'll swap these messages out. We'll use 10 and then we'll swap out another 10, then we'll swap out another 10. You know what I'm saying? And then we'll swap the phone numbers out too. So then it look like it's just new people, new messages. Like, you see what I'm saying? That's how you get around the carriers, man. You know what I'm saying? You got to be smart. You got to know how to move now. You telling you, you understand? Yeah, man. So you want to qualify the leads. You know what I'm saying? How soon you looking to sell? What's the condition of the property? Do you have a price in mind? A lot of them throw the price out. So the people that throw the price out first, I always ask them what's the condition, and then a lot of time I go straight for the close. You know what I'm saying? If they don't answer the phone, I'm like, hey, if you want to, you know what I mean? What's the best price you can do if I can close in a week and pay all the closing costs? I get straight to it, and if they tell me a good price, you know what I'm saying? I like, hey, send me your email address. They send me the email address. You know what I'm saying? I go ahead and email them the contract right then and there, right? Even though a lot of times it's better to get on the phone and go over the contract with them, but you don't necessarily have to do that every time, because I've gotten plenty of them locked up just with sending it, right? So, yeah, after qualifying to sell, lock up the deal with a purchase agreement, right? All right. Now, dispo. Let me tell you something, man. One point in time, I would focus it on marketing and acquisition. I mean, we would lock up 25, 30 contracts just with 3,000 texts a day, literally. And even though we was closing deals, I mean, shit, our closing ratio had got to like 20, 30%. Like, it got low. It got real low. Like, and that's because we was focusing so much on acquisition and not disposition. Focusing a lot on marketing, which is important, obviously, but you gotta be able to sell the deals, right? So, dispo, you know what I mean? What helped us is sending SMS to buyers and agents, just like we do to sellers. And also what took us to the next level is also listing the deals on the MLS, right? Now you pull these buyers lists and the agents from batch leads, and then you pull a lot of good buyers from DealMachine, but batch leads have a list of agents. That's what I do like about batch leads. But if we don't get a buyer in 24 to 48 hours from SMS, or, maybe hit them with a voicemail, then we're going ahead and moving on to listing it on the MLS, right? Also very important to let the seller know that you're listing it on the MLS, because I have done that before, where I just listed and I tell them, and then they're like, oh, why are you listing my house on the MLS and all that? And I'm like, listen, calm down. You know what I'm saying? We gonna get this deal closed. You understand? And I got a whole nother pitch for that, but that's a whole nother video, right? But yeah, listing them on the MLS, find cash buyers. Also for novations, right? So we've had novations where the ARV was $250 and we sold it for $240. You would be able to do that in wholesaling. So you definitely need to learn how to do novations. So this is where the MLS come in. You can accept whatever offer makes the most sense. You can accept a novation, or you can accept a wholesale. You understand? So it just all depends. But learn how to do novations if you don't already. Okay. All right. And that's pretty much it, man. You know what I'm saying? Once you you get to going and you get some more revenue in your pipeline from scaling and from making 20,000 a month consistently, you just reinvest and try to slowly scale up. You're gonna eventually have to hire more people to really, make this work, though. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you need 60 to 70,000 for 3,000 texts a day, right? The response rate is anywhere from 11 to 25% response rate. On average, you're going to get 10 leads a day. And on a very highly motivated list, we get 30 leads or sometime more. So that's why I say you're definitely going to need help. You're going to need a lead man. You could do this by yourself in the beginning, but you definitely going to need a lead manager. You know what I mean? Follow-up guy, somebody to really help you with this, right? I say one whammer per 3,000 texts, right? So one person per 3,000. So if you're doing 10,000, you need about 3 people to just, you know what I'm saying, beat the phones up and capture all the new leads to come in and lock them up, right? So yeah, on average, you might need 50 to 100 leads, you know what I mean? And, you know, a day. I mean, I'm tripping. Well, you know, you could get to 50 to 100 leads a day, but you typically going to need 50 to 100 leads to get a contract is what I'm saying. And you get 2 deals closed, you know, that's 20,000, right? And it's just simple math. Obviously, like I said, it could be 7,000, 8,000, 3,000, 50, one deal for 20,000, whatever. You know what I mean? You know how this shit go. So this is the breakdown of the cost. So batch leads cost $350 to pull 70,000 records, and DealMachine costs $279 to pull 60,000 records. It's about 0.007 texts a day. That's about $21 a day. The monthly cost would be around $630 plus the subscription. You know, so roughly that's just to send a text and pull the data. So plus the subscription around like maybe $900 a month. You know, and then if you want to have an operations manager to do everything for you, because I have an operation manager because I don't really want to sit there and, you know, move messages around, swap. You know what I mean? I want to focus on actually closing deals, so that can, you know, be up to $750 a month. But either way, man, I mean, you know, you're looking at what, $1,500, $2,000 a month to bring in 20,000. You know what I'm saying? You hire one whammer for $1,000 a month, so you looking at what, 3,000 a month to make 20,000. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man, can't beat that. So, you know, these are tools you need. Go high level. Definitely gonna need that, buddy. Definitely gonna need that. You're gonna need the phone validator. Very, very important. You're gonna need these tools: PropStream, Batch Leads, DealMachine, County. Right? We'll do another video on how to do pull lists from the county. Go high level. Then you're gonna need DocuSign or .loop or anything where you can get a contract signed. Actually, you can sign contracts and go high level, so that can get rid of this cost. And you know, a solid buyers list, which you can pull from PropStream, Batch, and DealMachine, right? And eventually you're definitely going to need this. And I recommend using my operation manager that I use. They can help you. They'll, trust me, use them. Use my people. You know what I mean? So yeah, man. That's pretty much it, man. You know, if you want more help with this, you can book a call with me. Link below. Like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We got more sauce coming back to back to back. You know what I mean? I just wanted to show y'all, you know, what it really takes to make 20,000 a month. And that's it, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, subscribe. Like I said, man, book a call below. I'm out. Bando Joe. Peace.